Hey, good Wednesday morning, everyone. This is Joe. Welcome to my scripture reflection for Wednesday, July the 26th. Hope you're doing well on this Wednesday morning, middle of the week. We have the week right smack in the middle, so to speak. We have things to reflect on in the beginning of the week and things to reflect on going forward. Most importantly, it's what we're reflecting on. What is in our mind and heart that has to be accomplished, that has to be more shaped out, so to speak, and put into practice in our life. I think it's a continual learning that we have to have in our mind. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask you to quiet your minds and hearts as we prepare to hear today's gospel, which is from St. Matthew, chapter 13, verses 1 through 9. On that day, Jesus went out of the house and sat down by the sea. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat down, and the whole crowd stood along the shore. And he spoke to them in parables, saying, A sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seed fell upon the path, and birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky ground where it had little soil. It sprang up at once because the soil was not deep. And when the sun rose, it was scorched, and it withered for lack of roots. Some seed fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it. But some seed fell on rich soil and produced fruit, 100 or 60 or 30-fold. Whoever has ears ought to hear. As I have mentioned to you several times, because I believe in it so much, Jesus provides only so much information for us. And then he looks for us to take that information into our minds and into our hearts and then make it fertile, bearing fruit with what we do as we process it in our mind and heart. This is why when we look at the parable of the sower, we see that the seed that fell into rich soil does produce the most yield. But we all know that that takes a lot of work before it happens, right? We know that we have to continue to take care of it. We know that we need to continue to be vigilant over it and feed it water and good food, whatever it might be, so that those plants come through and provide us with what we enjoy later on. This is no different than the seeds that Jesus plants in our mind and in our heart, and what then we have to do to make sure that they do produce a good yield. There's a gentleman, E.M. Forster, who has a great saying, spoon feeding provides nothing but the shape of the spoon. How true that is. And when we're in school and when we now look at the social media explosion, we can easily rest back, sit back and say, well, just give it to me. And whatever I learn, I learn. No, the best way is, as I say, is Jesus's way. Take it into your mind and into your heart, and then do the work. I have a long way to go, but I will tell you, over the last 5 to 7 years, I have read an incredible amount of information about how animals are treated and exploited in our world. And I'm asked a question, I could spit out a lot of information, but I'm still working on it, and I have to have that mindset of still working on it for me to continue to try to do something good about it. It requires me to read what I read and then take it into my mind and heart and say, what can I do? What can I learn more? How can I apply this? I'm on the journey, so to speak, and we are all on a journey with the seeds placed into our mind and heart by Jesus. The question I ask you today is, what seeds has he placed in your mind and heart that you really need to move into rich soil, do a lot more of the work to make those seeds come to fruition so that you and others can live in a more compassionate world? Well, my friends, that's my message for you on this Wednesday. As always, I hope it was helpful for you. I always welcome your thoughts and your comments. As I mentioned, starting next week, I am going to be coming live at about 7 o'clock a.m., a little bit earlier. At the end, I'm going to pause. I'm going to wait for any comments or questions. Maybe we can get some interactive kind of juices flowing, so to speak. And then I'm also going to probably try to offer a prayer at the end that we can all take off into our day with. But as of now, I wish you all a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care, everyone.